Ordinary Average Guy Podcast Show. Yeah. Hey, everybody, it's Ordinary Average Guy Podcast Show coming at you, previously recorded from the Buxty Hootie Studios. Oh, yeah, today I know what you're thinking. J-Kenn, man, dude, it's a Wednesday, brah. What the hell, brah? You know, I usually get these episodes out on Tuesday morning, and I get them out early, 3:30 in the morning, baby. Monday night, man, I don't know what the hell. I don't know what it was, but I literally thought I was going to die. I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. And I'll be honest with you, I was walking towards it. I was in so much pain. I was walking towards it, dude. But then I was like, no, man, I got a wife and kids. I can't walk towards that light. So I just crawled up in my bed in the fetal position and just cried myself to sleep. I don't know what it was, man. It was like, the best way to explain it, dude, is that I had, like, somebody was inside my stomach stabbing me with a knife from the inside out. And it was terrible. It was just horrendous. And I looked it up, and I was like, man, yeah, and that's exactly what I typed in Google, dude. It's exactly what I typed in Google. Stabbing pain from inside the stomach, and it sounds like it just had a case of gas. Gas or indigestion. I don't even know what indigestion is. I hear that word all the time, but I don't really know what that means, man. So let's look up the word indigestion, shall we? Indigestion. Good old Webster's Dictionary. Upper abdominal discomfort, described as burning sensation, bloating or gasiness, nausea, or feeling full too quickly after starting eating. But what is it actually? You know what I mean? Belly pain, man. So it's nothing. It's just when you have a stomach ache, you have indigestion, I guess. I don't know, dude. But my wife made this meal on Monday night, right? So she's on this big health kick. God bless her. God bless her. And she made this, like, there's this TikTok craze. Or she's not on TikTok, but I don't know how she found about it. But there's a TikTok craze where you take cottage cheese, right? And you take avocado, okay? Not a big avocado guy, but whatever. I'll choke it down, for the lady. I'll choke it down. So you take cottage cheese, avocado, and potatoes. Sweet potatoes, I believe, specifically. And then a protein. Is any protein? I want some protein. It's like, what the... Don't people just say turkey anymore? Don't people just say beef? Don't people just say chicken? Nah, protein. I need protein on this. So you gotta have some sort of protein, right? And you mix this shit all together, okay? It's a weird concoction. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not like it's the best best tasting food in the world, but I guess it's like super healthy. It's just jam-packed of protein, And then she put this and I think I can eat frickin', man, dude. Like, when I get wings, man, I get buffalo, you know what I'm saying? I'm not afraid. I ain't scared of hot stuff, you know what I'm saying? I'm not scared of it. But I don't know if I'm getting older or something, where my tummy's kind of like, dude, you're getting older, you can't be eating that shit. Because she put this honey on it, but it was like, I should have looked and see what it was called, but it was it was hot honey. It was hot honey, spicy honey. And like when you eat something and later on you still taste it in your like you could still brush your teeth and all that shit, but you still taste it. Like it's like on your 21st birthday when you have too many shots of tequila, baby, tequila, and then you can never drink tequila again. I'm pretty sure that's me with this spicy honey. Like I still like taste it in my mouth, or I did that night, and I was like, I think that's what it was, but I don't know, dude. My stomach was I couldn't do it. I couldn't pull off a podcast, man. I couldn't do it. I felt so bad because I have a contractual obligation um with myself to get that podcast out on Tuesday. If you're ever going to start a pod, if you're ever in the podcast world, uh one second here. Drinking a Busch Light right now, man. Drinking a Busch Light for the podcast. I haven't been drinking a lot at home. I really haven't. Uh, Ever since my little health kick, I've 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 made some good habits. I've talked about that before. I made some good habits. I feel like a lady at work had a 3-pound bag of Starbursts on her desk for everyone to share. A Starburst, and Starbursts are one of those things. They're my Achilles heel. Starbursts and Skittles. They're my Achilles heel, man. And not only was it Starburst, but it was just pink. It was a bag of pink Starburst. That's it, just pink. And yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. When it comes to Starburst, I'm obviously a pink guy. Like if I have a handful of Starbursts and someone wants one, I'm giving them the yellow. You know, have you ever met anybody who's like, I like yellow Starburst? No, you haven't. I don't even know why they make yellow Starburst. Tell you what, you go to the store right now, you're not going to find a pack of only yellow Starburst, but you will find. Maybe it's not just pink. Like they throw some reds in there. I think they're called like Flav Reds. Like it's like a reddish, but then pinkish. It's that kind. And she had a 3-pound bag, and I hate to say it, but man, I was digging in there more than I'd like to say, and I was pretty down on myself. I couldn't stop. I felt like Eve in the Garden of Eden, and I just kept eating them, and then hiding in my office in shame because I had the forbidden fruit. But anyway, but I still feel like had some good habits. I haven't stepped on a scale since my weigh-in, and I'm not gonna either. Maybe a month from now I will. But I'm way off track. What was I talking about? Shit, dude, I forgot totally what I was talking about, man. Had good habits. Oh yeah, but anyway, for the podcast, I was like, you know what? You know what? In honor of doing the podcast, I'm gonna have a cold brewski. So god damn it, I got myself a cold brewski. Oh, it tastes good, dude. Oh, it tastes real good. Busch Light. Busch Light, man. But anyway, and then Tuesday, so then I was like, well, maybe I'll do the pod. I'm cool like that. I don't call it a podcast. I call it a pod. All right, that's what I call it. A pod. I'm doing a pod right now. You know what I'm saying? And but last night, man, I was my turn to put the kids down. Right, we're doing this thing where I put the kids down and the wife puts we single handedly put the kids down, so we have a night to ourselves. Right, so like right now, my old lady's putting the kids down, and I'm recording this, and then tomorrow night I'll put the kids down, and my old lady, I don't know what she'll do. I don't know. I have no idea, but she does whatever she wants for that. So then last night I put the kids down, and then I fell asleep in the room. Got out of there around 11, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm not doing no pod tonight. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, I'll do it Wednesday. So sorry. Anyway, short story long. You're getting your podcast on Wednesday night, man. So I apologize about that, but a couple things I wanted to talk about. First things first. Today was a great day, man. The weather in northeast Wisconsin is second to none right now. It's beautiful. Blue skies. Knock on wood, it stays blue. I need a couple more days of dry weather for personal reasons. Even though my grass could use a soak, my grass could definitely use a little bit of H2O. Um, but yeah, if we can get a couple more days of dry weather, that'd be great for personal reasons, work related reasons. And but it's been nice and warm. It's not like too. I mean, it's warm, but it's not like hot, hot. You know, like 100 degrees. Not like that where it's like holy shit, way too hot. But it's definitely windows down, radio up kind of weather, brother. It's definitely if you're not driving around with the windows down, radio up, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Mother Nature has finally blessed us with some sunshine and warm weather, and you don't have those windows down? Come on, bro. Come on, dude. Get the Rush on the radio. Get the windows down. Get that radio up loud. And I'm talking to 11 hashtag Spinal Tap. You know that reference? Spinal Tap? Great movie from the 80s. They're remaking it. Or not, they're doing Spinal Tap 2 with the original people. So that's pretty exciting. I wonder when that's being released. Because I'm going to be all over that, dude. I'm going to be all over that like flies out of shit. Spinal Tap 2. Spinal Tap 2 official teaser trailer. Release date September 12th, 2025. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there on the day it comes out. Mark my words. But anyway, the weather's beautiful. Today I went to a brat fry. Now I don't know if that's a Wisconsin thing or not. For any of you guys living out of state, if you listen to this from out of state, which there's a couple, it's so cool when I go on my little app and I, like look at the downloads, and it's like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Primarily, the tens and tens are in Northeast Wisconsin, but there's a few of them in different states. I've even had a couple listens from other countries, believe it or not. And but what the hell? Where am I going with this now? I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. But son of a bitch. Anyway, the weather, downloads, other countries, states. Oh, I don't know if brat fries are like popular anywhere else, but in Northeast or in Wisconsin, especially Northeast Wisconsin for sure, I know. Nowadays you can drive around, like this time of year, drive around to any like grocery store. There's a Festival Foods near me that like they have a brat fry almost every day for like lunch. You can stop in there, get a brat fry. Today I went down to with all my friends, just me by myself like a loser. Got I actually got a hot dog. Last week I went and I got a hamburger. This week I got a hot dog. I put some sauerkraut on that. On the dog, I put some sauerkraut on that and some ketchup, and ate that hot dog, and it was delicious. It was delicious indeed. And it was awesome sitting outside eating a hot dog. And then this afternoon I went to Lambeau Field. We had like a work thing at Lambeau, and we had a lady. She talked about the draft, about how the planning for the draft, the takeaways from the draft, the economic impact on the draft. It was very interesting and a very nice. She was such a good speaker. She was really good at speaking, and it was a really cool presentation. Then we did a tour of Lambeau Field. The tour guide was an older gentleman who was very, very knowledgeable about the Green Bay Packers. And he told me a story that everyone in my group was getting pissed off because I kept on asking questions. And after the tour, there was like an open bar and free food and all that stuff, and everyone's like, "Come on, I want to get to the open bar." But I was so intrigued by what this guy had to say. So here's a little story that I don't think anyone knows really, and it blew my mind. But get this, tens and tens. Curly Lambeau, right? We all know Curly Lambeau. He's the gentleman who started the Green Bay Packers, right? He started the team, okay? And he was with the Packers until like 1950 something, okay? Anyway, get this. Curly actually wanted to relocate the team to California. Do you believe that? Curly Lambeau, the guy who started the Packers, Lambeau Field, the place is named after him. He wanted to move the team to California. And basically, at this time, Curly didn't own the team, right? Because he had to sell it. There's a long story, but he had to like sell the team or whatever. And and that's why the team is owned by the stakeholders, right? It's the only team in the NFL owned by stakeholders, right? So basically, the board of directors or whatever, like, no, dude, you're not going to frickin' California. We're staying here in GB, bro. We're staying here in Green Bay, man. And Curly got pissed, and actually, he left the team, right? So he left, and actually, in the 1950s, the Green Bay Packers were not that good, and there was actually some heat between the Packers and between Curly Lambeau. They didn't. There was there was a disgruntled. They were disgruntled. Curly was mad. So when they built Lambeau Field, it wasn't called Lambeau Field, right? It was called, I think it was called New City Stadium. I think they called it, right? And basically the relationship between the bridge was burned. Put it that way. So Curly dies, right? And the Packers talk to Curly's family, and they're like, "Hey, in honor of Curly, we would like to name Lambeau Field in his honor, and we would like to, name it Lambeau Field." And his family obliged, obliged. They, I obliged to it. I don't know how you say that word. I don't know how you say that word. Obliged. I don't know. Maybe because I'm a stupid Wisconsin guy and I can't talk, right? Because I'm a northern idiot. I don't know. I don't know. Obliged. I don't know if I'm saying that word right. But they obliged, and they named the stadium Lambeau Field, but it was after Curly died. So that's such an interesting story because as a Packer diehard fan, right? Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But I had a revelation about that. But anyway, uh, I never knew that there was bad blood between the Packers and Curly at the end there. I had no idea. And I don't think a lot of people do. I don't think that's common knowledge because now you got a statue of Curly out front. You have the field's name, Lambeau Field. Another interesting tidbit is Lambeau Field is the only stadium that is named after like a player, former coach, or like a person. Like now, every other stadium is named. There's a sponsorship type like AT&T Stadium or MetLife Stadium um, or whatever. There's but Lambeau Field's the only one. I didn't realize that either. Like I didn't really. Well, I guess now I do. Oh yeah, I guess you're right. But I never realized or thought about it. But um, yeah, it was an interesting tidbit there I learned today that there was bad blood there, and I never knew that, and um, very interesting. But one thing I learned about the Packers today is that you know, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or what the deal is. Now that I have a wife and kids, and I got hobbies that I'm doing now. I'm doing the woodworking thing. kind of starting this little side hustle with the woodworking. If I get some time here, I'm trying to build some stuff and, maybe get it out there to the masses and see if I can maybe drum up a couple orders and make a little cash on the side, buy some cooler tools, stuff like that. And I'm also like really getting into real estate lately, like just like, and I've always had that real estate bug, but like now I'm truly getting into it. Like I'm doing it. Like I'm gonna do it. Like become like an investor, like kind of thing. Like I'm even like I even started taking this real estate course online to get my real estate license. So I can, you know, buy houses and maybe sell a couple houses, just like on the side. I don't even know if that's possible. Like I don't even know if people can do that on the side. But I kind of want to do it just so I can get into the more of the, buying, finding deals. I don't I'm just into it. So I have all this shit that I'm doing nowadays, right? And it's like I don't know how people like can stand on top of like what's going on in sports. Like when I was a kid, man, I knew it all, right? And I even joke like I know more people on the 96, 97 Super Bowl team of the Packers than I do like on the team right now. Like um Jordan Love, man, is like the only guy I know. Like I don't know. Like I can't. But when I was on that tour today, like I was so intrigued by the history of the Packers, like the history, like um I can sit and listen to a guy talk about the Packers from the 1960s all day long, all day. But like if I'm going to sit and talk to somebody about them right now, like I don't know, I don't know what the frick's going on, but like I go golfing with some buddies. I got a couple buddies I go golfing with once in a while, right? We try to go golfing like every other week, very rare, rarely doesn't actually stick to that, but those three guys are like so into sports and they know everything. They know everything. As soon as we get there, they're like, "Hey, did you see about that deal that like Jose, Rodriguez signed with the Mariners?" Blah blah blah. And I'm just like, what are you guys talking about? Like, how do you stay on top of this shit? It's like, as soon as you have kids, like, I don't know how people with kids like stay on top of that. And I try to play like I tried to do fantasy football, and I just can't do it. I don't know. Like, I wish there was a if you're listening and you know of something, let me know because I wish there was like a podcast, right? Because I know there's a million sports podcasts, right? I know there's like a million of them there. They're all over the place. But I wish there was one. You know what would be a really good idea for a podcast is, in all honesty, is like the Ordinary Average Guy Sports Podcast Show, where it's just we talk about sports, but it's just like what you need to know so that when you are at work and everyone's around the water cooler, right? And they're all talking about like the big news and the big what's going on, like that you can actually it. Like you can sit in that and have that conversation with them, and you can and you can feel like you know what you're talking about. Because when I try to listen to sports podcast shows, it's just like I just it's like, what are you talking? Like what? I, I don't know. There's like you almost got to be at, like at another level. And the thing is, the truth is I'm kind of at that level. Like when it comes to like rock and roll, like I can talk about rock and roll band, but even them, and like I'm in the class, like I'm just an old soul. I've said it a million times. I'm just an old soul. I like sports, talking about sports like that happened 30 years ago. I like classic rock. I'm just like this old guy in this 37-year-old body, I don't even know what I'm talking about, but a podcast about sports for the ordinary average guy. I think there's something there. And if there's someone that wants to do that podcast, man, I would be all for it. You can do it under my umbrella of Ordinary Average Guy. We can do a little podcast network or something like that, And then we could have the wrestling podcast that's specific to wrestling. That'd be another little show. I don't know. I think I got a pretty good idea here. So we'll have to check that out. But anyway, let's get into some emails here. Let's see if we have any messages. So first things first, if you want to email the show, please do. I've said it. I've said this now 51 times. This is the 51st episode. The emails are my personal favorite segment of the show, and I personally believe that I am I'm just a wealth of knowledge when it comes to answering your questions. Like I said, you don't need to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars going to therapy. You don't need to cry yourself to sleep in a pillow. Just email me your questions and I'll give you legit ordinary average advice, because that's all you need, just ordinary average advice. So send me your info, dude. Let's see what we got. Do we have any messages? We do not have any messages. Again, you can message me at the Ordinary Average Guy Podcast Show for messages, or you can email me at J-Kenn, OAG at outlook.com. And we do have 3 emails. So, first things first, we got an email here from, he goes by Actually. That's what he goes by, Actually. Because, all right, so he goes, "Hey, J-Kenn, I know you are approaching 52 episodes. Keep up the good work and keep the podcast going. It makes my Tuesday, even when you release the episode late." Well, oh, dude, I apologize to you then. I apologize to you, actually, because I didn't have one on Tuesday. It's on Wednesdays. And, and that's another reason why you guys got to subscribe, man. You got to subscribe and hit that little bell. You got to hit that bell, dude. And you got to hit the thumbs up, man. You got to hit the thumbs up. You got to hit the bell. And you got to subscribe, man. Because then when I do get deadly ill and I can't get my show out on a Tuesday, and it's a Wednesday, for example, you get the notification, dude. Come on, guys. Subscribe, for the love of God. Just subscribe for me. For me. Hit the bell. Hit the thumbs up, man. Gee, leave a comment, if you will. But anyway, sorry about that, actually. About not getting that out on Tuesday. Anyway, he goes on to say, in reply to last week's podcast, I love when my wife wears tight yoga pants and giving a good slap on the ass. Okay. However, I do not appreciate when she does it to me. Double standards? Don't care, he says. I was thinking about that over the week, about that last week's episode, and I was talking about, giving your wife a good old slap on the tush, and how, I'm a firm believer that, they should appreciate that, and, that they should take that as a compliment, like, hey, your husband, still thinks you're sexy, right? And man, yeah, that's my woman right there. Ooh, yeah, give her a slap on the tush, But I was thinking about that, and even here's some advice that I came up with that I think is going to be awesome advice. So actually, listen to this, and then also Dick Scratch, the original email, the guy who sent the email. This might be advice to go by. Sometimes I've been noticing that what I do personally, I was talking a big game about slapping the ass, but actually I realized that I actually don't do that a whole lot. what I do is I just kind of like touch it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll come up behind her, when she's in the kitchen. And yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do the occasional slap, but sometimes I just do a grab. And I think that you might get further, um, with a grab. You just kind of, put your hand on a cheek and just kind of give it a little squeeze, right? Just squeeze. And too bad I didn't have a camera on me because I'm squeezing with my hand, kind of illustrating how you do it. But I think you all know how to squeeze. If you ever squeezed a football, you know how to squeeze a tush. So I just give it a little squeeze, a little rub and a squeeze, a little rub and a squeeze. And I'm not, the violence is at a minimum. It's actually more of a caring, it's more of an act of, um, an act of love, if you will. And then, you give a little, a rub, a squeeze, and then you kind of move the arm up around into the love handle. You bring her in close, and then you turn it into maybe a hug or kind of like a half hug, if you will. I'm going to be honest with you guys. If you do that, oh, she's going to melt. She's going to melt in your arms, man. And the chances of you getting lucky are going to be they're gonna multiply exponentially. I'm telling you. So yes, for humor reasons, we were talking last week about slapping her ass, and yes, once in a while you got to give her a good slap. But I think more often than not, what you want to do is just come in nicely and just give it a little rub, give it a little squeeze, and then just kind of bring her in, maybe even throw a hug in there. And I guarantee you, she's gonna hug you back. She, give you a kiss probably, and who knows, man? It might even lead to some, who knows? Might even lead to somewhere else. Maybe she'll drag you into the old laundry room and shut the door and a little afternoon delight. I don't know. I have no idea. Now I'm just speculating, but if I can give you any advice, if I can kind of rebuttal the advice I had from last week, that's the route I think, and that's the route I personally go actually more often than not. I just more of a tender, um, you know, hey, how's it going? I like this. I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna, not grab it. I'm gonna grab it. So anyway, beat that to death. But yeah, because yeah, it's funny. I don't want to get slapped in the ass either. That's only because I have flashbacks of a kid when I used to get spanked. He goes on to say, in regards to the stop-in, yes, we talked very lengthy about stopping in. He says, my wife and I have said for years that we want to bring back the old stop-in. I loved as a kid when people would just stop in, have a talk, and often head down to the old basement bar. Yes, dude, exactly. We got to bring back the stop-in. And without a doubt. Speaking of which, is there anything better? Okay, speaking of which, is there anything better than... Okay, I think what he's trying to say here, actually, I think he missed some words here, actually. Speaking of which, is there anything better than having a good basement bar? The drinks are colder and they just taste better. Cheers to warmer weather. Long-time listener, actually. You hit that right on the head, man. Actually, you hit that right on the head. A basement bar is the best. And because I have fond memories of like going over to my great grandparents' house. They had a basement bar. It was like an old school bar, man, and it was cool. And I remember as a kid just sitting there and drinking. They used to have these orange, like bottled soda, like, and I remember like orange and grape. Like they didn't have like Mountain Dew and Pepsi. They just had like cola and grape and um, orange was a big one. Of course, I always went for the orange soda. It's like when I go to McDonald's, if and I haven't been in a long time, but if I were to go to McDonald's, um, oh, here's another little tip for you. Here's a tip for hangovers. I don't know why. I'm not a chemist. I don't know why this works. But if you have a hangover, go to McDonald's, okay? Get a double quarter pounder, all right? Double quarter pounder, cheeseburger, greasy as all hell. Get some fries, right? Get the fries, and then get the orange. Um, I think high C. I think it's high C, orange high C. But I don't know what it is about that concoction, but that takes your hangover away. 100%. You feel a million times better after that. So, um, there you go, dude. That's the best. But yeah, I remember sitting down on my great grandparents' bar, and then you would drink the soda, you put it back in the boxes, then you'd have to take the bottles back, and you would get like a refund. I we and I and I don't do that. I did it a few times. Remember a couple weeks ago when I was talking about how I always buy like I'm a sucker for like legit brand named stuff, and except if it's milk, like milk for some odd reason we don't buy, like we save the dollar and we just buy like the Roundy's milk or whatever. But there's in the t- in the area I live, if you go to a grocery store, there's a company, late Lamer Dairyland's Best is the company. Dairyland's Best, right? So they sell milk. Now it's a little more expensive, so we don't ever buy it because I just can't seem to spend. I spend money on so much stupid stuff, it's unreal. But when it comes to milk, for some odd reason, I just can't seem to spend the extra $1.25 on the brand name milk. But anyway, Dairyland's Best, they sell milk in glass jars, and then you can return those glass jars and get like a refund, like just like the good old days, just like the olden days, right? And I'm a sucker for the old days, and I'm gonna start doing that again. I did it like one or two times, um, and we just don't do it. But I'm gonna start doing that again because that's freaking cool, man. Milk in the glass jar, and then you just and then you got to take it back to the grocery. I mean, it's a lot more work. It's a lot more work, but it's fun, right? So, um, but yeah. Anyway, back to your email. You hit it right on the head, man. Sitting down in the basement, having some brewskis, having some old fashions, or just good old fashioned orange soda. Um, Good stuff. We have another email here from a first time emailer. First time emailer. His name is Eaton. 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 Eaton Beaver is his name. Let's see what Eaton Beaver has to say. Hi, J-Kenn. Eaton Beaver here. First time emailer. Thanks, Eaton, for emailing. Appreciate it. With Mother's Day being this past weekend, I wanted to get your thoughts on what is the proper balance to spend the day celebrating your own mother and also celebrating the mother of your children. Oh my God, this is a question. This is a tough one because you you're going. Someone is not going to like the answer. And then they say, I feel lucky in the fact that my wife and mother get along, but in a universe where they wouldn't, I'm not sure how I would handle such a day. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks, Eaton Beaver. Um, yeah, man, that's a tough one. I don't know how people pull that off. I luckily am in the same spot as you are, Mr. Beaver, where my wife and my mother get along, right? Um, and, and on top of that, my mother-in-law gets along with my mother too. So, like for example, on Mother's Day this year, we went to a it's called a botanical garden. Actually, it was the Green Bay Botanical Garden, which I would highly recommend. It's a very beautiful place. Speaking of thinking like I thought I was Eve in the Garden of Eden. That's actually what I thought of when I was walking around the Green Bay Botanical. I'm like, this got to be like what the Garden of Eden was like. It has to be. I mean, this is beautiful. And it was a little early in the year, so like the things weren't, the flowers weren't really blooming yet. So it would be cool to go back, like when everything's in full bloom and everything. Um, but anyway, that's what we did, right? So it was me, my wife, my kids, my sister, her husband, her kids, and then my mom and dad, and my brother and his girlfriend, and then my in-law. My wife's an only child, so it was my in-laws, my mother and father-in-law. It was a big group of all of us, um, and then actually so my sister's husband, then his mom actually showed up, and my sister's husband's sister showed up. So it was like just like a huge group. So luckily, we are in a situation where everyone gets along, and that's fantastic. Um, but I will say, this is going to be an unordinary opinion, but I think now just hear me out. Just hear me out, because sometimes this gets a little crazy, right? Like on Mother's Day or Father's Day. Well, not really Father's Day, because fathers just really don't give a shit, right? Whatever. I just text my old man, "Hey, happy Father's Day." "Oh yeah, thanks." I don't. And it's like I don't even. It's not even that. I appreciate Father's Day, I think, but it's more I appreciate that my kids get such a kick out of it. It's not really like me personally. Um, but this is it's funny that you asked this, because I think that there is a day, okay, there is a day out there called Grandparents' Day, okay? It's for example, this year it's on Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Now, I am not sitting here saying I'm trying to promote yet another Hallmark holiday. But what my thought is I think that yet another thing that we should make more popular is Grandparents' Day. Okay? Grandparents' Day, where it's all about grandparents, right? So we would basically do whatever we would do on Mother's Day or Father's Day, but it would be geared towards the grandparents. Okay? That's their day. They get that day. That's them. We do what they want to do. We go out for brunch. We go to botanical gardens. Whatever it is. Let's face it. We do whatever the grandma wants to do. and then when it comes down to Mother's Day and Father's Day, we should still acknowledge all the mothers out there, but I think, and this is my opinion, this is just a thought, I think it should be more what the mother of the youngest kids want to do, right? So like in your situation, Eaton, you know, on Mother's Day, it would be what your wife wants to do. What is your wife? It's your wife's day, right? She has a kid, obviously. I don't know how many kids you have, Eaton, but let's say you have one kid, right? Let's say this is your wife's first Mother's Day, for example. That way, it would be her day. It's her day, right? Brand new mother, and because let's face it, man, her mother and your mother, come on, let's face it, they had like 40 Mother's Days. They already had 40 of them. Now it's time to pass down the now it's time to pass down. Okay, now it's the new generation's turn. It's their Mother's Day. And you know what? If so that way, like if the mothers and the daughter, if the mothers and the wives don't get along, it's kind of like, hey man, this is a new thing that Ken Man started, Ordinary Average Guy podcast show started. Like Mother's Day is for the new mom. But when Grandparents' Day rolls around, we're not, we don't take, that's not like National Cupcake Day where it's just like funny little, oh, it's National Cupcake Day. It's like it's going to be at the level of Mother's and Father's Day. That's my um that's my proposal. I'm throwing it out to the world. I would like to get the feedback from the tens and tens. And actually, I would love to get the feedback from if there's any grandparents that listen to the show. I would love to get your feedback because I know what I'm doing here. It's still Mother's Day for you, so we're still maybe going to stop by. I'm still going to give you a phone call. We're still going to give you a text. You can still come with us if everyone does get along. You still can definitely come with us and hang out, but the focus will be on the new mothers. And then when Grandparents' Day rolls around, dude, we'll not that I'm trying to give more, have more things on people's plates, but when Grandparents' Day rolls around, then it's like, all right, it's your day. We're coming over. We're frying out. We're doing whatever, grandparents want to do, kind of thing. So that's a proposal that I'm sending out to the world. I would like to get the feedback because I think if we did that, it first of all is going to cut back on the driving on Mother's Day, right? So you're not going to have to go to your mom's house. Then you're not going to have to go to her mom's house. And then you're not going to, and then really, quite frankly, at the end of the day, the new mom kind of is like, well, geez, I didn't even do anything I wanted to do, kind of thing. Like that takes that whole thing out. That's not even a topic anymore, right? So, that's my proposal. I'm sending it out there. I'm curious as to what people are going to think about that. But that's my thoughts. So we have an email now from Josh. Josh, this is actually Josh, who's been on the show. He also hosted the show one time. So he's sending an email here. Thanks, Josh, for doing that. I'm going to take one little swig of brewski here, and then I'll read your email. Oh, my God. It's so freaking good, man. Email from Josh. Can I get a J-Kenn shout out for my beautiful wife for graduating over the weekend with her master's degree? Super proud husband. That's fantastic, man. That she got a master's degree. That's incredible. And Josh, I know you, dude. So I know that actually she's a mother. She's a mother, right? You guys got a kid. So she's taking care of a kid. Let's face it, Josh, she's taking care of you too, buddy. She's taking care of you too, buddy. And then I know for a fact she's working. I believe she's working full time, and she's now she just graduated and got a master's degree. I mean, that's something I've never done. I never went to for a master. I thought about it, but it's like, geez, do all that studying again, and the reason why I never did was because it was like I got kids and a wife and job, and I mean those were the reasons I didn't get a master's degree, and you did, Mrs. Josh. So that, yeah, I tip my cap to you. That's incredible. And I hope all your wildest dreams come true. For getting that, you definitely have a job where a degree is needed, right? So I've said it before. I'm the older I get, the more I learn. The less I am crazy about college and getting these degrees. I feel like like for me, for example, it's like, I don't, why did I go to college? Why did I get a degree? Now, granted, probably wouldn't have the job I have now if I didn't have the degree. So I'm kind of shouldn't be saying that. But in all honesty, like I'm a big fan of like technical college and stuff like that. But that being said, I know what his wife is doing for a living, and it definitely requires a college degree. So it's cool for you that you did that. It's not an easy task. So yeah, definitely a shout out from the tens and tens on behalf of the tens and tens and myself. Congratulations on that incredible achievement. Um, that's fantastic. Okay, so unordinary opinions. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. So like these last couple weeks, I've been having a hard time coming up with unordinary opinions, and uh, episode 52 will be the final episode of season 1. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. Season 2, I'm not doing the unordinary opinions anymore. I don't even know if you guys like them. I've never gotten feedback, good or bad, about the unordinary opinion. I thought it was a cool idea, and it's just getting harder and harder and harder to come up with them. That being said, I actually have 3 of them this week. 3 unordinary opinions. And I'm going to say them all. First things first. Actually, I have 2 unordinary opinions. I have 2 unordinary opinions, and I have one just kind of like WTF kind of thing. So, can someone explain to me now? I did a whole, maybe not a whole episode, but I talked about tipping. I'm an I tip, and am I the most generous tipper? No, I'm not. I'm not. But am I giving the going rate? Yes, I'm giving the going rate. I personally think our tipping system is broken. The fact that it goes off a percentage of your total bill, I think, is wrong. It should just be legit. Well, it shouldn't be at all. These goddamn restaurant owners should just pay more. But I went to that brat fry today, right? And the reason for a brat fry is usually because there's some organization trying to make money for something, right? I remember when I was a little kid, for good old 4-H, we used to do brat fries all the time to make money for the 4-H club. The thing I had today, though, was like, okay, I'm buying a brat from this organization where all the proceeds are going to go to this organization. And I'm not going to lie to you, it's not like these brats and hamburgers and hot dogs were cheap. I mean, they're, whatever. I mean, they're not like $1 or $2. I mean, they're kind of like, oh, geez, kind of expensive. Yeah, whatever. But then they have a tip jar. And it's kind of like, isn't the reason you're doing a brat fry, like, I'm giving you money to do the brat fry, to get a brat and a hamburger and a hot dog. I'm giving you money to do that, which all the proceeds are going in your pocket as an organization. But yet you also have a tip jar on top of that. Like, I'll be honest with you, I didn't put money in the tip jar. I'm like, isn't this essentially just one big tip that I'm doing? Buying this hot dog, now you want another tip on top of that? It's like if you buy Girl Scout cookies and you buy the cookies, they don't have a tip jar. But to be honest with you, the way the world's going, I wouldn't be surprised if they do. I don't know. I just can. Am I wrong? Tell me, tens and tens, if I'm wrong on that. If I'm just being a greedy bastard, should I have tipped? Because I don't think I should have. Now, if it was a situation like a normal restaurant, that's different because these people are working and they're making a living. This money is going, their employer obviously doesn't pay them enough because our system is broken. But this is a different situation where the whole thing is a charity. The whole thing, the reason we're even here to get these brats is a charity. And then on top of that, you have a tip jar. I don't know, man. I just don't get. It's like, enough with the fucking tipping. Enough. Okay, On the Ordinary Average Guy podcast show, we've talked about a lot of things, a lot of revelations, or a lot of revolutions that we're going to do. We're going to do the stopping. We're just going to start stopping in, right? We're stopping in places. We are going to do Crocs. We're going to do mocks over Crocs. Bring back the moccasins. We are going to change the way that our any service industry, we are going to pay a little bit more for the service so that the owners of those companies pay their employees a proper wage where we don't need to tip, and we don't have to have that whole thing at the end of the meal. You had this awesome meal, and I'm like, oh my god, what should I tip them? 20%? Oh no, maybe 25. Or do they still do 15%? I don't know what to do, and now my whole night's ruined. We're gonna get rid of that. We're the tipping is over. We need to change that. We are also going to observe Grandparents' Day in return, that mothers and fathers that are, new mothers and fathers get more attention on those specific days. These are things that we need to change. And I'm not going to, I haven't said it in a while, but I'm still planning on running for governor of Wisconsin. And that's what I'm running on. Those things. I don't give a shit about your health care. Your healthcare system broken too. We're not gonna use taxpayer dollars so you can go to some crooked ass doctor and he can overcharge the government. No. Nope, not gonna happen. That's what I don't know if that's Democrat. I don't know if that's Republican. I don't know what the hell it is. It's ordinary. It's the Ordinary Average Guy Party. That's the party I'm running for, the Ordinary Average Guy Party, where we just do, that's what I'm running for. So that's what we're changing here in the world. Are you with me, tens and tens? Are you with me? Because I can't do it by myself. Okay, so the actual unordinary opinion. I don't like the fact on Jeopardy when the answer of a question, well, actually, in Jeopardy, they give you the answer and you have to actually answer the question with the question. It's really weird. But I don't like it that these people can just give the last name when they answer it. You know what I mean? Like, this person invented the telephone, and then they'll be ring, and it'll be like, who is Bell? And then, the new Alex Trebek is like, that is correct. It's like, I don't like that. I think it should be, who is Alexander Graham Bell? That should be the answer. And here's the reason why. Let's say, the question is, who was the quarterback for the New York Giants when they beat the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl? And someone rings, right? And in their mind, they are, they have an image of Peyton Manning. Okay. Now, you and I know the answer to that question is Eli Manning. Okay. But in their mind, they think, oh yeah, that was Peyton Manning. But all they need to say is Manning. Who is Manning? New Alex Trebek. And the new Alex Trebek would say, yes, that's correct. But he's actually wrong. Like, he should say Eli Manning. Who is Eli Manning? Like that. So if anyone from Jeopardy is listening to this, I really think you should consider changing that and say, like, hey, you got to say the whole name, dude. You can't just be getting away with just saying the last name. So I feel like that's not right. And every time I watch Jeopardy, because I like, just as showing my age again, but I'm a big fan of watching Jeopardy and then watching Wheel of Fortune. And another thing, Wheel of Fortune, Ryan Seacrest not wearing a suit? What What's that all about? I watched an episode of Wheel of Fortune the other day, and Ryan Seacrest obviously is the new Pat Sajak, and he didn't have a suit on. He just had like a nice shirt and like those stupid pants that are like real tight at the bottom, joggers or whatever they're called. I'm like, you're the host of the Wheel of Fortune. Put on a nice suit and a tie. Am I wrong? Ah, I just was so pissed. I'm watching Wheel of Fortune. These a-holes are just answering all the questions with last names. And then I watch Wheel of Fortune, and Ryan Seacrest is walking around like a goddamn frat boy who just, left college to do this show. And I'm turning into the get off my lawn guy really quickly here, but I don't know. And then okay, I don't know. So so that's my one unordinary opinion. My second unordinary opinion is maybe it's just because I'm from Northeast Wisconsin and I grew up farming. I'm not afraid to admit it. Actually, I want people to know it. I work hard for a living, or I used to. And somebody was spreading cow manure this weekend, and my wife, city girl, right? She's from the city. And she's like, oh my God, that smell. Oh, it smells like cows out there. I can't handle it. I'll be honest with you, man. When I drive down the road and there people are hauling shit, I love it. I love that smell. I love that smell. I wish there was an air freshener for my car with that smell. I just, I don't know. Are you guys with me? I'm thinking you. And that's an unordinary opinion. It's got to be a straight up. There's no way that there's more people out there that like that smell than don't. But if you do, let me know. I'd be very interested because uh, I I don't know. I just really like it. Oh shit, man. All right, so song of the week. Uh very excited about this song. I this is a song, but you gotta if you're gonna look this song up, which I hope you do, you gotta look up the one I'm gonna tell you, okay? Because it's a live version of the original song is cool, but this particular live version is frickin' sweet, dude. And as a musician, because I am a musician, I might not be a good one, but I am a musician, and so I really dig this song. Anyway, the song is Louisiana Bayou from the Dave Matthews Band. Is Dave and I, I don't even call it Dave Matthews. I just say Dave. That's how I'm a fan, right? So I just say Dave. I listen. Yeah, I went to it. Yeah, I went and saw Dave. I don't say, if you can tell when you're a true, like if you're just like a poser who's like, yeah, I like the Dave Matthews Band, and you're like, did you just call him the Dave Matthews Band? Because all you say is Dave. That's all you say. You don't actually use the whole thing. You just say Dave. I saw Dave 3 times, man. um, but anyway, it's the Dave Matthews Band. The song is Louisiana Bayou. Now, the version that I want you to listen to is live at Red Rocks. Okay, so the Dave Matthews Band, Louisiana Bayou, live at Red Rocks. Um, why that particular song is the end. It's a total jam session. I know that's not everybody's jam. No pun intended. Pun intended. But it's my jam, and it's a big jam at the end of that song. And there's this guy. He's playing this. I don't even know what the hell it's called. It's like that slide guitar thing. It's like really big and like old school country music maybe, but it's like the slide guitar, but it's like on a little table, and then you just, I don't know what it's called, but it's sweet, and he's doing this kick-ass solo and stuff. So definitely check that out. Louisiana Bayou by Dave, live at Red Rock. Is that like, if you were to go on a college campus today in 2025, are you gonna see Dave Matthews Band posters in dorm rooms? Are you gonna see that, or is that kind of done now? Like, because back in my day, that was like, the big thing, like on college campuses was DMB. But I don't know, is that still big? Is he still, or is that my generation? I don't know. I'm really like having this like I'm getting old kind of thing, and it's freaking me out, dude. It's freaking me out. But anyway, that's song of the week. Check it out. You're gonna love it. I guarantee it. So, episode 51's in the books. We'll see you next week for episode 52, the season finale of the Ordinary Average Guy Show. Yes, season finale. All right, guys. Windows down, radio up. Remember, stay ordinary and stay average.